What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 trader with 920 Trading and Trading Decoded. Today is Monday, March 25th, 2024, and this is how we traded SPY today. But before we get going on that, if you enjoy our videos, please give us a like and a subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can be one of the first to be notified when we drop new content, which is just about every day and sometimes on the weekends. Also, don't forget to leave us a comment. We always appreciate those. And share with your friends. That, again, is very much appreciated. So, on to the charts for this lovely Monday. So, we are looking for three things. In trading, we're looking for three things. Number one, we're looking for volume. Number two, we're looking for range. And the third thing we are looking for is volatility. As traders, we need to have good volatility or implied volatility, particularly when we're trading options, so that the value of our contracts actually moves. If we don't have all three of those things, folks, so volume, volatility, and range. If we don't have those things, guess what? You're going to twiddle your thumbs. You're not really going to do anything the entire trading day, but that's kind of beside the point. I'm not trying to show my hand early, but we do need those three things during the day. So remember that, folks: volatility, volume, and we need range. So high to low, low to high, whatever it is. Those three things. So the pre-market high, we got pre-market high sitting up here at about 521.40. We got pre-market low sitting here at 519.39. So right out of the gate, I'm thinking, okay, we got, what do we got? A couple dollars to work with? We got $2 to work with from the top to the bottom. So I'm thinking, you know what? Not a lot going out today. We had some reports that came out around 10 o'clock or so. But $2, you're thinking, hey, $2, that's enough. Now, the pre-market high came really, really early in pre-market. So you could use that level. You could use this wick up here at about 521.12. So if we went to this level, so 521.12, it gives us less movement, obviously. So for 519.49, 519.39 to 521.12, our range starts to tighten up a little bit. Had a really nice drop. Let me get over here. Had a really nice drop in pre-market. Low volume drop, lots of gaps, made a lot of gaps in pre-market. But again, we're not concerned with gaps in pre-market, other than looking at it going, I don't really understand what's going on, but it is what it is, folks. But again, if you are trading futures in pre-market, you did probably very, very well today. But we can't trade options, so that's kind of a moot point. But let's get going on the charts. Now, after kind of the shenanigans or my lack of really good execution, last Thursday, I traded on Friday. Friday was a much, much better day from an execution standpoint. Now, Thursday was a green day, but the execution was not where I wanted it to be. So I kind of shook it off this weekend. And again, Friday was a decent day. Shook it off this weekend and said, you know what? I am going to just try to get marginally better every day, folks. We try to get marginally better every day. Our job as a trader is to execute. Our goal as a trader is to get marginally better every day. So in my quest to get marginally better every day, let's see how she played out today. So we are coming into open, folks, not doing a whole lot. So you can see this kind of bouncing around in a pretty tight range over the last 45 minutes to an hour or so. Not a whole lot of range. So we're essentially talking 519.65 through right up in here, this 519.95-ish, right up in here. So we've got this, let me see, we got a double bottom. So a pre-market double bottom, which is always good for support, folks. Don't forget those 30-minute double bottoms. We can call those demand zones up through this 15-minute triple top. And then we got this 15-minute pre-market double bottom. So not a whole lot of room. So I didn't play anything right out of the gun. I didn't play anything off this level. I don't remember what I was doing, but I said, okay, if we can touch this 30-minute level again, I will play this thing back to the upside, because again, folks, it is a pre-market 30-minute double bottom. So double bottoms on your higher time frames, those are demand zones. Those are areas in which they say, you know what, I want to buy this. It's on sale. So let's see if we can buy it and push it up to our next level. Now, this level right here, this is a 30-minute level. Don't really know if it was on here early. Doesn't really matter. I think I'll put this on here as a 30-minute level. I was looking at this level and also watching my higher time frames to kind of see what was going. Again, bounced out of this 519.65 back to the upside. Caught it in the fishtail. So it was a nice fishtail play. Could have taken the trade off up at this level. But I said, you know what? Let's see if we can make some more room to the upside again. Now, this line right here, this 5-minute intraday zone, it was not there during this time. I was looking at these levels up here. I'm thinking, okay, we breached this to the upside. Let's give this some room. And again, I knew exactly where I was going to get out of this trade if it went against me. And fortunately, again, it was a fishtail play. I was in decent profit at this time. And I only know that based on I had a really good entry on this. Could have been a little bit better right off of the bottom here, but you never know if you're going to push down. Anyway, I took an entry right in here, let it kind of bounce around for a few times. I never let that 9 get below the 20 though, so that's going to be very critical. If we look at the higher time frames, you can see exactly what it was doing. 3-minute was still pushing up. We were not breaching that 20 back to the downside. Now, once we got on this road again, I was thinking 521.06 is in place. So at this point, I'm thinking, you know what, this is going to be a really, really nice play to the upside. I did not sell out up here. Had I been looking at the 4-hour chart, I had a 4-hour double top at this level, so it was 520.86. I should have seen that on the 4-hour, but I didn't. I looked at the 1 hour, I looked at the 30-minute, I didn't see anything up there. So again, I was looking for that 521.06, which was a leftover level from Friday, which was a really, really strong level, back to the downside primarily on Friday, and then used that as support. But again, didn't take it off. And I thought, you know what, if we can use this as support, again, use this as support. If we can bounce back up to that 521.06, great. It's still it'd be a really, really nice play if we're able to do this. Double cross to the downside. As soon as we had a double cross to the downside, that was below the 9, below the 20, and below this level 520.61, I said, you know what, I'm taking the trade off the table at this point. And again, had I had the lineup here on that 4-hour double top, I'm taking the trade off the table at that 520.86 is where it was. But again, I didn't have it up there. Gave it a little bit of room to breathe, but once I had that double cross to the downside through that level, I said, you know what, I'm taking it off the table. Second play. So consequently, I didn't take anything to the downside on this trade. Would have been a decent little trade to the downside. Getting into the next play. Now, what you are seeing, folks, is you are seeing very, very little. Remember, we had a very, very little movement in pre-market. And this is kind of how the entire day played out, folks. I took this play directly off of a bounce off of VWAP back to the upside. And I remember I was on voice. And I said, okay, folks, look for the potential bounce back to the upside off of VWAP. I didn't tell anybody I was getting into the trade because I don't say I'm getting into a trade or you need to put on a trade or anything like that. But there are signs for the people in the community when I'm getting into a trade. I will say things like, okay, we've reached a level of support here. If you're looking to get into a trade, this needs to be your stops. Things along those lines. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. So I can't tell people to get into a trade or get out of a trade. It's just there's a lot of liability involved. But again, there are signs, but I just can't tell people to do this or do that. It is their money and they're responsible for their own trades 100%. Now, I gave this room a little bit of room. Now, if you look at this 520, let's say 520, I got in right here, 520.27. So we're looking for a 60-cent move, which a 60-cent move is a decent move. Tried to get a little bit more out of this trade, but once we started breaching, failing to get back up to that level, I said, you know what? I'm not going to make that mistake. And it wasn't a mistake at that time, folks. It wasn't a mistake because, again, I'm using this level of support, trying to push up to this 521.06. Not a mistake. But I knew at this level we had struggled there before. So just from a trade standpoint, so from a trade management standpoint, if you struggled there earlier, unless you can push through it with an awful lot of conviction, so it pushes through this level to where you're able to use this level as support up to your next level, take the trade off the table. And again, that's just my opinion. So I took the trade off the table. And again, folks, this was a 60-cent move, but how long did it take to get there? So we're talking about 48 through 08. This is a 20-minute trade. So we're in this trade for 20 minutes for 60 cents. That's not a whole lot of movement. It wasn't horrible. But, and it was a nice trade. Don't get me wrong. It was a decent trade. But this is kind of how the whole day played out, folks. I mean, if you look at this chart, we're talking about 15 and 20 cent ranges all day long. Remember what I was talking about earlier, the three things that we need. We need volume, we need volatility, and we need range. If those things are absent or one of those things is absent, guess what, folks? We're not going to move. And that's how the chart played out today. There was just not a whole lot. You can look at it after the fact and say, well, he had a cross here. Yeah, you could have taken this. But again, you don't want to, don't want to play in that space where you're talking about 15, 20, 25 cent moves, where when it moves against you, it tends to hurt. So, no more trades, folks. This thing just kind of bounced around, was not making any kind of decent moves at all. And I told the folks in the community, actually, our community leader, Jimmy at Trading Decoded, he said, folks, we don't have volatility today. We don't have volume today. The chart is just not a good chart to trade. And I agree. I was looking for that point during the day where the big boys had accumulated so many shares that they run it up one way or another. And I was kind of waiting on that, but at the same time, I'm thinking it's not good. Now, I've talked about the day after Thanksgiving 2023 being the worst day that I've ever seen. We had a total of 76 cents from the bottom to the top all day. Today was pretty much the same day. I looked at the volume. Today relative to that day. Our volume today was actually lower than it was the day after Thanksgiving just a few months ago. And then I looked back. And so the worst day at that point was the day after Thanksgiving 2022. And then I had to go back to the week after Christmas 2021 to find volume that was absolutely as anemic as it was today. Folks, if you don't have volume, leave it alone. If you don't have volatility, leave it alone. If you don't have any kind of decent range, sit on your hands for the day. There are other good things that you could be doing. You don't have to watch a chart hoping for a 20-cent move. It's just one of those days. And I don't say this very often, folks, but today was it just wasn't a good day to trade unless you're waiting until the end of the day thinking, okay, we had a nice little run to the upside. Well, maybe you caught off this same level. We had support here at this level. Well, you could have played this back to the upside again, hoping for a 20 or 30 cent range. This play right here at 13.12. It took an hour and 20, hour and 40 minutes to top out over here. If you're playing a single SPY contract at the money, you made $50 on this move, and it took an hour and a half to do it. And there was not a lot of risk in that play, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of reward. You're probably taking on a little bit too much risk, in my opinion. But again, it was a slow grinder to the very top. This play right here, again, an hour and a half. So you're talking about an hour and a half right here on a single SPY contract to make $50. Well, I don't make that in my regular job. Well, maybe you don't, but again, you are any pullback during the day, those hurt. But again, we didn't have volume, we didn't have volatility, and we didn't have a big range. So consequently, that was it for me today. I mean, we had some plays off the top, and again, you're thinking, okay, yeah, you see a setup there. We're looking at it at the end of the day, folks. We have 20/20 vision when we're looking behind us. The downside is, folks, yeah, you can shoot for some levels, make some really quick scalps. But the majority of the day didn't have any moves until we got to the end of the day. Now, this play right here, what do we have? So we had 61 down to, we had a dollar move, which is a really nice move. And it came at the end of the day when volume started to pick up. But at this point of the day, I'm thinking, okay, there's still not a whole lot there. There's still not a whole lot here. And then you get down to this range and you say to yourself, do I put on a play here? Do I chase this trade, realizing that I'm directly above support by 9 cents? Yeah, we made this move back down to the downside. You could take that, but where's your stop at this point? So you got 17. Where's your stop? Is it going to be 35 up here? Where's your stop? It's already into the play. You could have taken that breach of the VWAP to the downside, but the last time it did that, it's just not a whole lot of movement. But again, I'm not making excuses for not taking this trade at all. But what I am saying is there was nothing to really to lead us to believe that we were going to have a dollar move at the end of the day. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. The edge was there. It presented itself. It was late in the day. It was one of those power hour moves. But I said, you know what? We will live to fight another day. Some days are better in the markets than other days. Today was just not one of those days. It was a really, really nice trading day. We like to have volume. We like to have volatility. We like to have a range. But again, other than this play, clean, super clean move off the top, folks. Very, very super clean move. And you can make the argument again, hey, well, we made a lower high over here. It's late in the day. There's not a whole lot of risk. And that's true. There's very, very little risk. Let's say you take a fishtail play here. What's your risk? You've got 9 cents of risk above you, and then ride it down. But again, didn't play it and don't want to say, yeah, I caught it, because that's just not based in reality. So that's how she played out today. Again, folks, some days are better than others. I did all right. Did all right on those 2 plays. It was decent. Obviously worth it. Absolutely worth being in the market today. But it was a tough day to trade. Now, if you enjoy our videos, please go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you will be notified when we drop new content, which is just about every day. And sometimes on the weekends. Check those weekend videos, folks. I really get into the psychology of trading on the weekend videos. So check those out. And don't forget to leave us a comment. We would greatly appreciate that. Share with your friends. That is always appreciated as well. Now, if you are interested in live daily trading, so every single day from bell to bell, head on over to our live trading Discord. The link for that is below. It's called Trading Decoded. Wonderful Discord. Wonderful people in our community. Everybody is willing to help everybody else in the community. You have a direct line to me. Folks, if you need something, holler at me. If you need to jump on a call with me, I am absolutely willing to do that with every single one of our members. So every single day, folks. I talk to members every single day, folks. Now, if you are interested in the 920 strategy, head on over to 920trading.com. Again, the link for that website, that's my website, is directly down below. That has the entire 920 crossover strategy, folks. There is no need to spend thousands of dollars on some strategy that you don't know is going to work for you. Everything that you will ever need from a trading standpoint to learn how to trade, to become a better trader, is available for you at no cost other than your precious time if you are willing to put in the work. And again, head on over to 920trading.com and don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter, which comes out every Saturday, promised, guaranteed to not spam. You're going to get 1 email every week. If there's something special going on, I might send out another one, but absolutely no spam whatsoever. So, folks, that's how we did it today. That's how she played out in the SPY universe tomorrow. Let's hope tomorrow can be a better day. And again, you're going to look at this chart after the fact. You're going to go, you know what? That was a pretty decent day. And not really. There were some decent plays, but ultimately, that's how she played out. But I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. I hope you followed your plan. We're going to do this again tomorrow, folks. We're going to trade and we're going to have an update video. So, hope everybody has a great rest of the day. We're going to do it again tomorrow, and we'll see you in the markets.